all about today's trade in micro gold. It is July 14th, and I've set up my weekly plan as of yesterday. And my weekly plan included what I missed this morning, which is really a bummer because I did not wake up early enough. This morning, about 5:30, 6 o'clock, I believe. Yeah, 5 o'clock, we started seeing a downward trend. And that downward trend lasted for approximately a good hour and a half, and then a little bit of a pop, and then back down into the 33.50 range. And it was such a beautiful trade, and I did not get into any of it. And the reason I didn't get into any of it was because I was up too late doing research and not sleeping, which is a bummer. So I made a vow to myself today to set my alarm even earlier. That would be really helpful for me. Today's trade was really a pretty trade as far as a short goes. I have that picture here. You can see that PSAR down, and this is on the 15-minute candle. This is the kind of trade that makes a lot of sense when you're in the market because you know that as it is confirming on each candle, it's still going down and it's still creating that confirmation. My goal of this month is to have a green calendar. That might sound like a little bit too robust. I believe that based upon what I'm looking at and how I've been doing my charts, I think I can do this. Now, that doesn't mean that every day is going to be green. There is going to be some red. We're going to have some losses, but overall, green calendar month, which would be really awesome. I did have some losses at the very beginning of the month, which were pretty intense and my biggest drawdown to date, and I got myself out of it, and now I'm coming back up. So this has been very tough psychologically, mentally. It was a real twist to my brain cells, and something that when I started to think about it, I started to back into all of my trades. I back tested. I went into my revenge trading where I went wrong. This is something that a lot of traders don't talk about too much, but I know for myself, I've done revenge trading because I've got to get back what I just lost. This revenge trading is a bigger kind of like a gambling psychology. Jared Tendler talks about gambling and how you bring that gambling thought process into trading at times. I highly recommend him and Morgan Housel. When I started recording my plays and recording my plans, it allowed me to create the playbook that I have now. Playbooks are super important so that you know exactly how to go into your trades and what kind of plays you're looking for. That doesn't happen right away when you get into trading. It happens after you've been trading for a while. This is my first year of full-time trading. And I will say it's been hard, a lot harder than it was early on in the 80s when I was trading because we had a lot more room to make money. We had a big spread. This is a lot different. Now that I'm a year in it and I've been doing this every single day, looking at my plans, writing down my notes, I journal every single day, and I share that with you on my stand story. Here's how I trade the DEX when I want to trade Bitcoin or AVAX or XRP. This is what I use for my wallet. You can find all of that in a handout on the stand store. That is an important part of the trading because when you start to look at how you're trading and taking your notes, journaling your trades, creating your playbook, it's important to go and back test exactly what you've done. And in the beginning, I wasn't doing that as much. Now I do it all the time. And I go through my notes right after I finish my trades so that it's fresh in my head. And when I'm going to work out, I'm thinking about where was I on the charts? Where was I during the day? How did that chart look? And the things that make sense to me when I am trading so that I can see, okay, this is where I could have done something better. These are the things that I look at now more specifically so that I know this is where I need to pay more attention and this is where I need to spend less time. And that really helps you when you start trading more because now you know how to preserve your capital, your mental capital, especially not just your monetary capital, but your mental capital is really what you're preserving. This is so important to have your trading plan and trading playbook. If you need some help with that, there is a link where you can book a call and I can help you to start creating that. Now, will that change? Of course, it's going to change. Your playbook incorporates how you trade, not necessarily just what you trade, but what is your trading style? How do you execute your trades? What have you been doing in the past 6, 8 months, a year to execute your trades differently and make changes so that every subtle change that you're making is even more and more to your advantage. I've been doing this for a while now and it's helped my trading out a lot. Granted, I have my days, I have drawdowns, every trader does, but the loser in me is becoming better at losing, and the winner in me is becoming better at not fist pumping and jumping up and down. In fact, it's more of what could I have done better in that trade? Every single trade is a learning curve, and I learn something new every single time I trade. And that's the whole point of having your playbook so that you know what you've learned and you apply everything that you've learned so that you're not going out and just deciding, okay, I'm going to get into this trade. You have a playbook that says, this is when you get into trades. This is when you get out of trades. This is your trading style. If you are interested in getting that done, for sure, book a call. It's really good to have a coach so that you have that person to discuss how your trades went. This is so important. And somebody that you are able to appreciate for what they've done and also be able to have them appreciate you for what you are embarking on. A lot of times we get into these groups and these traders are more interested in showing off and showing how much money they made than anything else. And it's not about really making money. It's really learning how I think about money and think about what am I doing with my money, with your playbook, your notes, your journal. You have something to take with you every single day. And you know in your head, all right, this is exactly what I wanted to execute. And I did it and I executed perfectly. And even if it's a $200 trade or if it's a $50 trade, it doesn't matter. Or if it's a $10,000 trade, it's not the point. It's the point that you executed it as your playbook stated, as you have decided to execute, instead of just making something up and hoping that it sticks. I hope this helped you. If it did, please leave a nice comment below and also share this with some people that you know who could use this Gen X information all about trading. And those of us who are looking for that extra job, that extra income, and we know what's going on in our country and we know what's going on in the world, this is for you. And I hope that you subscribe and I hope to see you on more videos. Thanks a lot. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.